This is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, February 11th. Good morning. I'm Abe Madcore. Well, let's put a bow on Super Bowl 59. Let's start with viewership. At an event Saturday afternoon before the game, I took the under of 124 million viewers. Everyone else went higher, and I did it more for a fun counterbalance, but I did wonder on Sunday if the blowout game would make my prediction fairly close. Well, Fox did set a Super Bowl record viewership with an estimated 126 million viewers for Eagles-Chiefs on Sunday. That passes the previous record of 123.7 million set last year for Chiefs-49ers overtime game on CBS. Now, this number of 126 million viewers could climb even higher when final numbers come out. And what drove this number? Well, interestingly, the first ever Super Bowl simulcast on Tubi, which of course is Fox's FAST channel, was seen as a difference maker for this record audience. The Tubi simulcast drew an estimated 13.6 million viewers. Most estimates before the game had roughly 8 to 8.5 million viewers for Tubi going into the game. So the bottom line is a good result for Fox, another record for the NFL, despite a lackluster Super Bowl on the field. When it comes to the commercial spots, most felt that advertisers played it pretty straight, going for some laughs, calling on history and nostalgia. There were not a lot of really powerful, impactful, or controversial messages or stands being taken by advertisers. There were some consistent reviews, though. Budweiser won the USA Today's ad meter contest with its Clydesdale ad. That was voted the top-rated Super Bowl spot. Number 2 was Lay's The Little Farmer. That finished second. That told the story of course, the young girl growing a potato on a farm. Other consistent shout-outs: Michelob Ultra earned high marks for Ultra Hustle. Stella Artois did well with David Beckham, Matt Damon. The Bud Light ad with Peyton, Post Malone, Shane Gillis, that scored well. Nike scored very well in its return to the big game in a long time. Other ones that did well: Dunkin' did well, Uber Eats, Mountain Dew got a lot of love for its Kiss from a Lime ad. So those were the ones that seemingly were in the mix, every discussion on ads cutting through the broadcast. Meanwhile, in an interesting twist, Apple TV released a digital ad starring Lionel Messi to promote the start of this upcoming season. MLS's season starts February 22nd. Now, this was not an ad on Fox's broadcast, but no, it was just released by Apple. It was a 30-second spot. It had the tagline, "When football ends, football begins." And again, it was on Messi's Instagram account. That has more than 500 million followers, along with other social media channels. But it was a pretty smart move because they show Messi. They also unveiled Inter Miami's new home kit, which Messi is wearing in the ad. That home kit, sure to be a top seller. That is available for purchase at an in-person event starting tomorrow on Wednesday. But Apple and MLS being a bit creative in unveiling an interesting spot to promote its upcoming season. So what brand got a lot of exposure on Super Bowl Sunday? Well, our friends at Vision Insights reported that Nike garnered the highest value during Fox's broadcast, earning an estimated $395 million in commercial value Sunday night. That, of course, is helped because Nike is on the player jerseys. And of course, we mentioned the brand had its first Super Bowl ad since 1998. So how do they come up with this number? Well, they base it off the 30-second commercial ad rate, which was estimated to be $8 million for a 30-second spot. The brand with the second most exposure, maybe not surprising, Caesars, north of $160 million. That made sense. Caesars, of course, has naming rights at the Superdome. I found this interesting. In terms of the most underrated inventory, Well, Vision Insights feels that NFL referees have the potential to earn higher sponsorship value. They do not have any logos on their jerseys, unlike other leagues, which do sell jersey ads to their referee uniforms, not in the NFL. Vision Insight sees an opportunity there. Let's move on from the NFL to the NBA because a very big decision came Monday afternoon in the Twin Cities. Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lowry are set to become owners of the T-Wolves and the Lynx. A 3-member arbitration panel ruled that longtime owner Glenn Taylor did not have the right to cancel a pending sale of 40% of his ownership stake to Lowry and Rodriguez last year. This ruling paves the way for the sale to be approved by the NBA. And assuming it is, Mark Lowry and A-Rod will take over these two franchises at a final price of $1.5 billion. Now, why is this important? Well, once approved, I would not be surprised if the duo makes changes to that organization. I could argue the team has a strong list of executives, starting with CEO Ethan Casson, COO Ryan Tanke, both heavily respected in the NBA as well as in the Twin Cities. Current team president Tim Conley was originally recruited from Denver by Lowry and A-Rod. He certainly will stay. Meanwhile, there will be a lot of talk of a new venue, as Target Center is the second oldest venue in the NBA after Madison Square Garden. Again, Glenn Taylor purchased this team in 1994 for less than $90 million. He was very active in league circles, including serving as chair of the NBA Board of Governors. But once this deal is completed, you're going to see a new day and a new dynamic with the T-Wolves and the Lynx. You know, while in New Orleans, a lot of the conversations I had with sources were, of course, around the NFL. But as I mentioned yesterday on the Buzzcast, we also talked about college sports. We talked about the TGL. We talked about Unrivaled. There was also a lot of chatter about how a possible NBA-backed league in Europe is moving faster than people expected. I believe that subject will get a lot of attention during NBA All-Star Weekend coming up in San Francisco. Like I said, this is moving much quicker than many people anticipated. It speaks to the strength of the NBA brand around the world. There's a lot of capital to invest. Stakeholders believe the talent is there, and the NBA would bring a sophisticated operator mentality and the ability to run a European-based league. Now, the biggest hurdle remains viable venues around the world, but that can be overcome, and that won't stop this venture from moving forward. But remember, there's another venture people are talking about, and that is a new startup international basketball league supported by Maverick Carter, as that proposed league has received funding from the Saudi Public Investment Fund. So this is very much in the early stages. There's no name to this league, no launch date to this league, no players. But the Financial Times did report it has around 30 employees. They're in the process of raising money, a target of $5 billion to launch this league. Markets like Macau, Singapore are said to be among the host cities, with more to come. Now, there's a lot of comparison between this and Live Golf. Yes, they're supported by the Saudis. There's major competition for global players. The salaries will be extraordinary. But besides the pay, this league is also touting a tighter playing calendar, less travel, as well as some equity in the league. Also, those behind the league see it as a way to add more sports and more entertainment to boost tourism in their markets. So this is a pretty intriguing concept in development. Like I said, people are talking about it, so you're going to want to keep your eye on what Maverick Carter and others are looking to do in terms of a startup international basketball league. And we'll end with this. Some interesting news in Major League Baseball as Commissioner Rob Manfred named Mets owner Steve Cohen and A's owner John Fisher to the league's 8-person executive council. So why do I bring this up? Well, Steve Cohen and John Fisher are replacing the Phillies' John Middleton and Royals owner John Sherman. This executive council is very important. It's a very influential committee, really helps shape MLB policy. And all this, of course, is leading into a high-profile collective bargaining agreement coming up over the next few years. And this is an interesting group because it also is comprised of D-backs owner Ken Kendrick, Mariners owner John Stanton, Giants owner Greg Johnson, Guardians owner Paul Dolan, Marlins owner Bruce Sherman, and Angels owner Artie Moreno. So now you add Steve Cohen and John Fisher to that group, and you see a pretty diverse range of ownership, pretty diverse range of markets represented. So that is the 8-person executive council that will serve Commissioner Rob Manfred going forward. And so that is your morning Buzzcast for Tuesday, February 11th. I'm Abe Madcore. Thanks for listening to the Buzzcast. Stay healthy, be good to each other. I'll speak to you on Wednesday.